There are many highlights and there were many failures.
Okay.
In the tech space, you need to fail in order to enhance, right? So one thing that we've started investigating, and we've now been playing with it for over a year, is robotic process automation. To give you an idea, the guys from WhatsApp and Meta, that's improved the tech a lot there as well. So it's not only just a chatbot. Like we can actually engage. You can purchase through WhatsApp. We can show customer boarding passes. So.
Hello, welcome to ITWeb on the road. Today I am at the FlySafair head office, not in studio, and I am joined by the FlySafair CIO. This is Eswee Vorster, and he's going to chat to us more about the airline's digital strategy, some of the different tech that they've implemented, customer facing particularly, as well as some of the challenges that the airline has faced, seeing that they're celebrating their 10th year and what they've introduced over the past couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I came in, Eswee, when I came in, first thing I was handed a tablet, started to put in my details and take a photo. There's no paperwork. I can see that you guys are, pushing that digital strategy. And can you just tell us more about the FlySafair digital strategy? What have you guys been doing?
Sure. Welcome to FlySafair, by the way, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I think digital strategy is basically from what my department and what we're focusing from an IT and innovation point of view is really everything we do revolves around that. So we're very digitally obsessed, or we like to be, right? So, and it's important, the way we approach it is in terms of, people ask you what's your digital strategy, and it's mostly, it involves technology, it involves data, it involves processes. So there are many elements to it as well. And we try to unpack that and simplify it firstly. I think otherwise you can get drowned in a lot of noise, not doing things too complex in the beginning, but it's really around efficiencies ultimately. So we do it in two ways. Firstly, we look internal towards the operation itself. How can we work better? How can we streamline processes, as an example? That's a part of digitalization in any case. Looking at the systems, it's not always those big things that you have to do when you speak digital. There are small enhancements that we focus on, but a lot of the efficiencies that we're trying to gain when it comes to digital is internally operational focus, so see where we can save time, where there's cost that can be saved. And then secondly, which is I think very important, is passenger facing, right? Customer facing. So today's travelers are more tech savvy than ever before, which is very exciting for us. And it's not to also introduce the complex solutions out there, it's to really give it one of our key pillars in our business is hassle-free, right? So it's really giving the customers the tools and the data and the information that's easy usable, and that for us is a key drive as well when it comes to our digital strategy. I think what's important is to have a prioritized list in terms of the projects and the initiatives you're working on, from big huge system replacements and upgrades. There's a lot of project elements to it, but then also these smaller wasabi changes that does make a big difference at the end of the day. So, and all of that obviously drives towards your innovation strategy as well, which is coupled with the digital, right? So we really focused on that and focused on the technology in the airline.
And Eswee, you mentioned, I just want you to give me maybe an example around operational airline technology within the operations. Where would that fit in? If you can just, anything that you can share with us.
Sure. So when it comes to that, it's actually all about the processes, right? So one thing that we've started investigating, and we've now been playing with it for over a year, is robotic process automation, to give you an idea. So the aim is of RPA, as everybody knows, is to see all those repetitive mundane tasks that can be automated, that can save time. So we've rolled out over, I think, just under 10 processes so far within the organization. And we've seen with RPA, there's definitely a cost saving element, but time saving is of the essence there, so that we can really apply our resources, the actual manual people who's working on those mundane tasks, to let them focus on other core elements within the airline. So we've seen RPA as a big success driver for us up until now. And I think ultimately going forward with all the other the technology that's coming out there is you're going to have data. Data is the core of going digital. It's not only the tech. It's a sort of a combination of many elements. But yeah, within the organization, we focus really a lot around the operational efficiencies when it comes to time saving, and RPA really played well into that.
Okay. And just if you can just give us how long you've been in this role here within FlySafair.
So I've been with FlySafair now for 9 years. So I'm going for my 10th year. Like they say in aviation, that's almost like 50 years, So, but it's been a exciting journey. I started in January 2015. The airline started flying in October 2014.
I was about to say, isn't it around the same age of the airline? Because I was like, the airline, I don't think it's been...
No, we've got our 10-year anniversary this year, which we're very proud about. So, we'll be our 10 years flying. That we're flying as FlySafair this year. So, I've been pretty much part of the journey since the beginning.
And within that journey, what would you say has been, obviously technology is advancing as the years go. Within that journey, being in that role, you in that role, what is a key highlight that you would like to share with us in terms of the tech that you brought?
There are many highlights and there were many failures.
Okay.
In the tech space, you need to fail in order to enhance, right? So, to advance. But if I look back at where we started, we started as an airline, so it was basically a startup, right? So we how does all of these things work? So we really focused on the core elements we needed. So our first thing was let's put all our effort into our website. It's our storefront, that's our selling point, So we've been obsessed with our website since day one on the e-commerce side of things. So that was one of the key things that I've been involved with, is just to get that off the ground and flowing. And then no jokes aside, it's a learning. It's an absolute learning as you grow, especially. Aviation tends to be dealing in a very legacy technology environment. So the systems is quite old school still. So it's really hard to innovate around that, right? But we've set ourselves that goal. That's the one thing we will do, is to be disruptive innovators on the tech space. And that sort of became part of our DNA as we grew through the years. And we've moved forward in terms of where we are now. We are in the process of having to replace and upgrade some of our core operational systems. So that's a different beast in its own. But then things like mobile applications that we've launched, obviously a couple of years ago, the FlySafair mobile app, which we're very proud about, and we're pushing that very hard. And not as a sales channel. It's about managing your journey, getting the updates of where's your bag, or, all those type of things, and just be informing your customers consistently throughout their journey. So that's a key driver for us. And then also we've done a lot of work around mobile applications. Like I've mentioned RPA to you earlier, mobile applications internally, and in some of the divisions that we work with, our internal customers, like our technical maintenance area or flight ops area. And then something refreshing that we've done recently, which I think was a world first, to be honest, is we've launched a WhatsApp chat commerce channel. So where passengers can actually check in online, and they can purchase a bag online and, track their journey, sort of, their whole experience through WhatsApp. Right. And what we found from that, and that's what's exciting about this space, is you learn so much from your customers. I mean, almost everybody in South Africa has got WhatsApp. Right?
Yeah.
So when I engage with you, I have your number, you've booked with me, you don't have to enter anything, and I can automatically give you the information at your fingertips in an application that you use. So things like that is quite exciting, So to sum it up, I think it spans from looking back over my tenure, it's about making those big changes that's required by the business. But also those small changes is really important. And I think what's very important when you look at technology as well is never lose your business objectives out of that equation, right? So whatever we do in the tech space and then innovation space needs to speak to one of our key business pillars and objectives as well. So, and that sort of keeps you sane, that you don't go off the track and segue towards something that's not really needed. So yeah, that's some of the highlights. That, and obviously it's not so much innovation. We have those crazy birthday sales every year, which I can tell you from a technology point of view is very challenging.
I was going to ask you what.
Yes.
I guess one is coming up since you guys are celebrating your 10th birthday.
Well, look, I can't still, but yeah, I mean, watch this space.
So how do you guys move around some of those challenges? Because you have customers that want to take advantage of the promotion that's coming up, and then they go onto the website, and then there's all those hiccups that happen. How do you what have you done to make the process seamless or easier or?
Look, every year it's a learning curve, right? So we really sit down and try to get it as take the learnings from the previous year, years, and then incorporate that way in advance into what we will do the next year. What is very difficult with that is because of the magnitude of data and information that we receive. I mean, I think we basically bring South Africa to a standstill on a day like that, right? So you can imagine the traffic volumes that we have to deal and process it. So it's a really complex challenge to keep all the systems up and running. They were not built for those type of traffic, right? But we've got ways and things in place. We've got our waiting room that we can sort of protect the site, and we let people through during the day as it goes around. But yeah, I think it's managing that expectation out there. Although everybody wants a R1 or a R9 ticket, at the end of the day, we still learn from it. There will be system crashes. It's normal. You can ask anybody out there who deals with this type of traffic. But it's just, for us, I think it's every year to get it better and more stable so that people can enjoy the experience, because I think it's actually a fun thing to do.
Yeah. And what, in terms of volumes, what's been the highest number of people that have come onto the site at the same time that sticks out for you?
I'm talking under correction, but I think when last year we hit the threshold of over 2 million people at once. Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of traffic. That is a lot of traffic. Yeah. So, but what's nice about it as well, we work very closely with our social and our marketing teams. It's a complete team effort, right? It's not an IT thing. So we work very close with our marketing guys, where they update the socials and all the message we want to bring across every year in terms of the sale. We work closely with them, so they sort of help us also to take the pressure off of us and dealing with all the noise that's going on, so that we can focus on keeping it up and running. That's good.
Yeah. Eswee, if you had an unlimited budget in terms of anything that you could bring on as a CIO of FlySafair, what is the one thing that you would bring out immediately, customer facing, better?
Sure, that's a great question. I don't think we've got enough time to answer that, but a couple of things that springs to mind for me was definitely to have, but you see, that's what's making it a bit more difficult, is because we've got obviously partners within our business. So we've got AXA at the airports, we've got all those type of things. But for me, if I see some of the trends internationally that's coming up is self-check-in is an example. You don't speak with an Asian. The technology and the things at the airport that you can do is all about self-service, right? It's so seamless, and it takes you literally 5 minutes to check in a bag for an international flight. I think biometrics is a big thing that's coming. I mean, you can see it in international as well. There's nothing more frustrating for passengers to, every time they go through all the checks, and then you get to the boarding gate, then you have to take out your ID again. If we can streamline those type of things, I think that for me, if it comes to unlimited budget on more on the tech hardware side of things, that will be definitely something amazing that will make a huge difference to this industry and such, if I can say that. And then I think we are all, if you're a tech enthusiast, we're all very curious to see what is AI about and where can we leverage it and what can we do about that, so I would love to, if we can create like a center of excellence and we just get the guys, a bunch of engineers in the dark room, lock them up and give them coffee and see what they can pump out. I think that's very exciting as well. So, and that's, again, it comes back to the mining of data, machine learning, those type of things is very exciting out there. So some of them still are unknown, but, we are sort of testing the water with some of them at this stage and then see what it all entails.
So that center of excellence, so it would be an AI center of excellence for aviation locally, wouldn't looking at it that way, or
Yeah, locally, but I want to bring it for me.
in-house.
Exactly, FlySafair.
So that you guys can maintain the number one advantage.
Absolutely. Listen, and on that point, and it's, no, I don't want to sound arrogant about it, but we see technology as a competitive edge, right? So it's not just something that we need to do. It's really, we are so extremely passionate about technology and what we want to put out there, you know, both for the business. We need to grow the business. Scalability is important. You can see in the last couple of years, it's a very disruptive industry. Things can go well the one day and not. So you need to be able to adapt to that. But also then just, you know, if you look at what we can do towards our customers, when it comes to this, I think the scalability and the speed at what you want to move with technology is something that we drive really, and we see that as a competitive edge, and it's a core focus for us on a very high level within the organization. What is also very important, I think, worth mentioning is we call it the center of excellence. And I mean, we've got quite a strong team of engineers and analysts that already work here, you know, but it's that buy-in and the collaboration from the rest of the organization that's very important. Because going digital the way we want to, in the aggressive way we want to, there's a big element of change management involved as well. Right? So, and we're lucky enough to have an organization, you know, from HR to finance to whatever, that is pro change, that is pro technology. The guys are on board, they support it. So this whole drive around digital and innovation within FlySafair is really one of our strong culture fits. You know, it's a culture fit, and people are embracing that, and I think that's very important. Otherwise, it's going to be a consistent battle to roll it out throughout the organization, firstly.
I suppose also another advantage maybe for you guys is that you're a young airline.
Yes.
So you are able to, and you came at a time when technology was advancing. Obviously, it's way more right now than we are right now, but you were probably able to adapt easier than most. Is that a fair? Definitely. Look, and still, I mean, I think especially your full service carriers and those guys, the applications and the tools and the ticketing systems that everybody's using is, I'm not saying it's old tech, you know, but I think there's new stuff out there, you know, so it's really that challenge to innovate around it. Okay.
And we've done quite a couple of things, you know. We've implemented with a middleware tech stack on our infrastructure that makes API integrations easier for us to make better use of the applications. But being young as an organization definitely helps, you know, definitely helps. And I think our approach was fresh from the beginning, you know, on how do we want to do this, and what are the strategic pillars. And from day one, we decided technology is one of them.
I just want to deviate, like in terms of not necessarily on tech, but during the pandemic, you guys were probably the only airline that was operational at the time when restrictions were kind of, you know, eased a bit. How did you guys achieve that together?
It was tough, right? So I think everybody in the industry and I mean our competitors really battled also. While what our approach was during the whole hard lockdown is we sat down as a business and as a team, and all of a sudden, you know, normally how you work is in the IT and tech space, you've got a roadmap as long as your arm, and you never get through the year because everybody wants their stuff now, and it's important, and you never get to churn your roadmap. So we sat down and then we spent a good couple of weeks to get to things that we never got to. And we built a whole feature set around disrupt operations. In other words, cancelling a flight. People now need to cancel flights. They need to be refunded. They need to get vouchers. So as a team, we sat and we built that during COVID, all right? So that's something that was great coming out of it. So we didn't use the time and just did nothing. You know, we looked at what does the airline need now? Should we start flying it? And when we took to the skies, it was emotional for us. I mean, we're very passionate about working here and the success of the business, but we saw it as a reset. Let's start again. It's day one again. You know, that first flight that took off early in the morning. And I was actually standing on the roof and they
masks on.
Yeah. and we just took the opportunity, you know, to look at what happened, look at business differently, but restart this organization and just be better than what we were prior to COVID. And I think that helped. I think it was a huge attitude that we had to adopt in the business, but everybody was just keen to, use the time that they had in terms of the disruptive environment. But then when we started flying is to make sure we were, better than what we ever were before.
And did the WhatsApp chatbot come around that same time, or was that a little bit later?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit later. It was a little bit later after that, but not too late. We started with on the WhatsApp channel, like I think everybody sort of does. You start on the chatbot side of things. But I mean, the guys from WhatsApp and Meta, that's improved the tech a lot there as well, So it's not only just a chatbot, like we can actually engage. You can purchase through WhatsApp. We can show a customer boarding passes, So then the focus for us more went into that interactive collaboration with our customers and making that for them better. And that's where sort of WhatsApp started, and it's just evolved from there onward too.
And what's the feedback like from the customers? Where do they? I think I've flown and I've been asked. I do give my feedback.
Good.
Do give my feedback.
That's okay. It's anonymous. I haven't seen your name.
So what are you finding that customers are saying that they want really
about WhatsApp?
Yeah, when they
It is amazing that they find it so refreshing.
Yeah.
Because it's not you've seen before, right? It's just not been seen before. So I think it's that surprising element that they find astonishing, and it's working. And I'm talking to this person as if I know them, because we have your phone number, you can engage with us. If you're happy with us, engage on this channel going forward. And they love it. The feedback has seriously been overwhelmingly positive on WhatsApp, and I think it's the freshness of it that brings it. And I think the fact that people know WhatsApp, they're confident. It's not just another application they have to download on their phone. They already have it, So it's been a exciting journey on the WhatsApp.
I must say the one part I do enjoy about it is telling me my boarding gate, because when you check in, sometimes you don't have the boarding gate, and then when you get to the airport, you're looking at those boards, you're like, which one is it? And when you get the message, you're like, oh, Grace, now I don't have to stress about which is that way I'm going to be running off to.
100%. But look, we do the same on the mobile app. I think the app will always be our first driving force when it comes to that, because obviously you can just do so much more, especially on push notifications and just informing your customers as well. So it's a good combination between the app and WhatsApp when it comes to the mobility and on the passenger journey. Yeah.
And how many subs you guys have on the app that will people that have downloaded it?
Last time, I would guesstimate at this stage, I think we sit probably around 1.6, 1.7 million downloads at this stage. Yeah.
Okay. Colleague of mine also said, when she's like, I prefer the app, and then I'm like, oh, I just get this stuff from WhatsApp. So she was like, no, she agreeing that it's quite a seamless.
Yeah,
it's one of the ones that she's enjoyed in terms of airlines.
Okay.
Because she gets all the information.
Yeah, and I think it comes back to what I said in the beginning. So especially in the innovation space and working on a thing like an app, we have one of the beliefs in our team as well, and then the business is the brilliant basics. Mm-hmm. Right, so don't do things too over complex, and keep it simple. When it comes to an app, let it do app things. Mm-hmm. Right, don't try and do more complex things. And it's constantly tweaking it as well. Yeah. We, in my team, I mean, if I look at the website alone, we try and do a website release per week for a year, right? Yeah. That's 50 plus website releases a year. Sure. So that doesn't mean it's always the big things, we do small. If you change a button from here to there, and I think that's that interest that we keep on and just trying to be improving on what we do the whole time. And similar to the mobile app as well, we really push a lot of features and fixes, especially in the app side of things.
We're seeing a lot of like the international hyperscalers coming to South Africa, well, on the continent, South Africa being one of the countries, like your Microsoft Azure. We've got Google coming later, if I'm not mistaken. We've got Amazon AWS. So from your guys' side, what approach are you taking in terms of your cloud strategy?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we work on a SaaS model. So everything we do is cloud. Everything's cloud. So I mean, it makes logically sense, in terms of the cloud infrastructure, the scalability, backup, DR, those type of things are, it's just part of the package, so it's sort of a no-brainer. So we're very pro-cloud. And towards, a lot of our services that we use as well as we partner with partnerships, outside there that does that. Our cloud hosting in South Africa is a very good partner of ours, CipherWave.
Okay.
They've been a great partner with us. Our PSS, our booking engine Radix, the partnership we have there, that we'll be moving towards Google Cloud Platform during this year as well. So it's sort of a natural transition worldwide.
Yeah.
Going that route, and you're right, it's all coming now. So I'm excited to see the difference that will make over a couple of years' time. So
within the business.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you did touch on, the aviation industry is quite, what's the word? Like very slow to change, to adopt new tech changes. So, but we are, and you also touched on it, we are seeing a lot of AI and hearing a lot about AI.
Yeah.
Are you looking at it as a business in terms of how you would, where it would fit in? And I think maybe you might have touched on it earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You cannot not look at it. We're very pro AI, very pro machine learning, very pro RPA. They're sort of in the same WhatsApp group. Excuse the pop.
You had to, hey?
I had to. I know. So the number is 08. No, just this. Definitely, right? So, but I think the unknown at this stage is still for us. We need to check it. You don't rush into it. I don't want to rush into it because it can probably do harm as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's really to determine where in your business you want to deploy it and how and at what scale.
Yeah.
So our approach would definitely be to look at the pockets of the business where it would make sense.
Okay.
Firstly, and then secondly, partner with the experts out there. We aviation tech specialists. We're not AI specialists, right? So it's very important that you partner, I think, with the right specialists in that space as well, and start simple. We really start with something small, test the water, see how it's going, and then start evolving. But is there a space for it, and will it? Absolutely, and I can't wait to see it. I think we're very excited about it, and we're definitely scratching to see what's out there.
Okay. We'll also, as customers, will probably be looking to see how it's implemented or like how it will change things for us as we interact.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember a couple of years ago, there was a whole thing about in-flight Wi-Fi, not necessarily with FlySafair. But what are you guys' thoughts around that, and what's, if anything, around conversation?
Sure. Look, so first and foremost, we're a low-cost carrier, right? So what does that mean? It means, we're trying to keep our operational costs as low as possible so that we can give our passengers prices as low as possible. So what that actually means is no frills and fuss, just pure, again, brilliant basics. Do what we say we do, keep to our promise, on-time performances. It's a religion in our business, right? So we always say, catering on board, you need to purchase that, right? You need to, if you're flying and you don't have a bag, part of your price point where you're flying, you need to add a bag, So it's a big change that the low-cost model brought into South Africa. It's huge in Europe and elsewhere. And I'm getting to the point there is, if we start, implementing Wi-Fi on planes, it means the ticket prices will ultimately go up because we had to incur that cost to get Wi-Fi on the plane. It's a cost element that we now had to compare the price somewhere else. So for now, I know it'd be cool, but it's not on our radar, to be honest. It's like, we think of other ways to make the journey more seamless. Also the flights, some of the regional flights are longer, yes. We might start looking at something there in the future, but the domestic flights aren't that long, So is there a business case for Wi-Fi locally? I'm not too sure. But yeah, for us, it's just really for now focusing on what we deliver and deliver it as best as we can.
And I think you did mention in terms of, you guys have engineers and I can't even read my handwriting. And then but I just want to get a sense of your team. What does it look like? Who are the people the brains behind?
Look, again, I think in the technology space, I think your most important element are people.
Yeah.
Firstly, I think people, that's not everywhere like that. So we really put a lot of emphasis on getting good people in, bright young guys, and then, get them involved in the passion of what they can do. And so our team spans from, we've got the IT department who looks after, hosting, networking, those type of things. We have a BI component within our team, data, and a lot of data analysts. So I've mentioned it a couple of times. We very pro data. We focus a lot on the importance of data. We've now also recently have a team of what we call system support analysts. So they deal with the day-to-day businesses that comes in. If something breaks or there's no connectivity at an airport, they jump in, or any other application across the airline. And then within the innovation team especially is where we have, historically we've had a lot of, up until now, industrial engineers that we make use of, and now we're also starting to get in more and more business analysts as the team grows, so their core focus is to, it's ideation, it's improvement, it's just at the forefront of it, and do that with absolutely great quality, but with speed as well. So it's great to get these young guys in. They're passionate. We can teach them what we want from a more strategic point of view. And I think what's nice at the end of it, when it comes to the people, is these guys really make a difference to the business, right? They don't work on stuff that gets shelved.
Yeah.
The stuff that they work on actually gets used by millions of passengers daily. And I think that's very rewarding for them also to always be engaged and see that sort of end product at the end of the day.
Eswee, I think you spoke to trends that you're seeing aviation-wise. Biometrics is big, self-service check-in.
Yeah.
What are some of the ones that you think the local market isn't not necessarily ready for, but like it needs to happen now, just to some type of innovation?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're going to come back to collaboration there from our partners, our stakeholders. Now, clearly they are also working towards that, and I believe they are. But I think if you think about it, as an airline, I can control your journey as a passenger on the device you use, right? And on the aircraft that you get on. And then the airport journey, I think, is where there's a lot of potential, right? Because I don't think a lot of people love an airport, right? You have to queue, and it's busy, and there's a lot of people, and it's bags, what, and security. So I think for me, the sweet spot and opportunity lies there. If we really want to look at it holistically, maybe step out just from an airline's perspective, but if I look at it from a passenger's perspective, I think, and there's no excuse that we should not be ready for it. I think the world's already far advanced there, and I think we need to quickly catch up in that space, to be honest. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen there.
Yeah. And if you can explain to us, how does the technology that FlySafair would use, how does it integrate with like AXA? Because AXA as the motherboard, if I were to put it that way, what does that look like?
Oh, look, at the airline's quite a complex setup when it comes to the tech and the infrastructure. I mean, if you can think about it, it's actually made up of so many components that are really businesses of their own. Right? So you've got the technical maintenance where the guys maintain the fuel, the aircraft. That's a huge business, and it's complex business. There's the flight operations side of things. It's got to do with the flying port, our cockpit crew, cabin crew. There's an HR, all of these have technology needs. There's airports, there's boarding gates, there's check-in gates. So our responsibility spans across all of those. So it's a heavily integrated ecosystem.
It has to be.
It has to be. And we pretty aggressive in that space there, that most of our integrations are all API related. That's the best, obviously, for now. And just try to be, when it comes to these heavily integrated systems, and firstly, you need to know it's very secure, number one, but the scalability and the flexibility of it going, with a futuristic view is also very important. So yes, we're very reliant on many business partners out there. But I think, the integration portion of it is where the complexity lies. But I think that will never go away. It can only get better. So.
And I suppose just to sum up our conversation, because we've gone through these questions
And so we're all on time.
Yeah. I have to commend you on that. What are your short-term goals, like tech-wise, or maybe in the long term? And you guys are celebrating 10 years. What do you aspire for the airline in the next 10 years? 5 to 10.
Yeah, and look, on the more strategic, bigger level, it's every day is just whatever we do is be better. We need to be better what we've done yesterday. We must always focus on. We have a saying, keep the windows clean, and you don't get complacent.
Yeah.
We are now this big airline, and it means nothing, right? We got there for reasons. We need to either stay there or be better going forward as well. So we keep our feet on the ground. You need to also look at the trends out there, adjust when you can. The business is very seasonal in terms of demand, and adjust according to that, right? So there's a lot of things that we have in mind there, but we always come back to the drawing board of what are we? We're a low-cost airline. What should we do better? What are we doing well? What can we do new? So, and not again, play in a field where we're not a player. I think we really need to focus on who we are, our identity as a low-cost carrier, and stick to that, and just make sure we want to be the best out there in the world. And from a technology point of view, again, I think for us it's to keep the passion going, keep on innovating. It doesn't matter what your size is, keep on being agile. I think for us, what we've learned, if I've seen now over my last couple of years here, I think tech and infrastructure and things like that used to be very disparate, the components, but I think from what we've seen is it's one thing, right? It's become one thing. If we look at it from a strategic point of view or a framework point of view, it's about the people, firstly, who work here and who's important to the innovation, but also the culture of the company. It's about processes, because everything evolves around the process. And then you bring in the technology. So those three components is for me, it's important to see where we are short term, what do we need to make better, but how must we be scalable for the next 10 years? What's the next thing out there? And able to do that, I think some of those questions I even can't answer now, because it's not been done yet, but it's to be at the forefront of just curiosity and see what's out there so that business can benefit firstly, and also our passengers secondly. So that's quite important to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
That was Eswee Vorster. He's the CIO of FlySafair, a low-cost airline in South Africa. For more on these videos, tune into ITWeb TV.